Hello, and welcome to Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports news from around the region and beyond. I'm Madison Letterman.
We'll also look at college football across the nation and check out the latest happenings in all pro sports. I'm Didi Little, and this is Sports Update on EUTV. There was a lot of happenings in sports all across the nation, but we're definitely going to kick things off with things here on campus. Fresh off of the heels of their first victory this season, the Evangel Crusader football team looked to start a winning streak as they took on the Benedictine Ravens in the Hart South Divisional opener for both teams. Things didn't go as planned for the Crusaders offensively, as they were not able to convert a single third or fourth down attempt in 8 tries, and they were only able to score in the red zone once, despite having 4 opportunities in the red area on the afternoon. The Crusader defense saw 5 players accumulate double-digit tackles as they were led by Cole Orchard and Ian Airy, who both had 12 tackles. Airy was also able to come away with an interception, but this effort was not enough for the Crusaders as they lost by a score of 24-6. The team will look to bounce back this weekend as they continue Hart South Divisional action against the Mid-American Nazarene Pioneers. Kickoff is scheduled for 1 p.m. from Tiger Stadium in Ozark.
During Evangel's men's soccer game against Grandview on Saturday afternoon, Drew Flippin led the team with 4 shots and 2 on goal. Chase Denny played the full 90 minutes in goal for the Crusaders and had 7 saves and allowed 7 goals. Evangel fought hard but ended up losing against Grandview with a final score of 7-0.
In more soccer news, the Evangel Crusader women's soccer team also took the field this past weekend in Hart Conference play. Following wins against the William Penn Statesmen and the Park Pirates, the Crusaders were looking to extend their mini-winning streak to 3 games as they took on the Grandview Vikings. The Vikings opened up the scoring in the 9th minute with a goal from Victoria Purcell, but the Crusaders were able to tie it up in the 73rd minute with a goal of their own from McKinley Yoder. However, the Vikings were able to come away with an overtime victory as Kinsey Langstrat found the back of the net just 54 seconds into overtime. The Crusaders will look to get back to their winning ways as they travel to Fayette, Missouri to take on the Central Methodist Eagles in their next matchup. Game time is scheduled for 5 p.m. on October the 21st.
This past weekend was a great one for our women's volleyball team. On Friday, Evangel's defense held Benedictine to a 0.115 attack efficiency, and last week's reigning Hart attacker Tori Lowry made her 4th consecutive double-double while leading the team in kills with 12. Sierra Reyes followed with 11 kills, and Reagan Ansley had 10 kills. The game against Benedictine was simple as the Crusaders swept the Ravens in 3 sets. Evangel played again on Saturday against Mid-American Nazarene and finished the game after 4 sets. The Crusaders started out literally on fire by defeating the Pioneers with a 10-point lead in the first set. Sierra Reyes completed 4 of her 12 kills in that first set, and Tori Lowry led the team again with 14 kills overall. Evangel won the second set as well with a final score of 25-22. In the third set, Evangel allowed Benedictine to win 25-23 after a hard fight. But even with that bump in the road, Evangel came back to win the 4th set with a score of 25-18, allowing them to win the entire match and continue their 5-game winning streak.
Well, Madison, it definitely sounds like that this was a pretty solid week for the volleyball team and the women's soccer team this week as well.
Yes, we have a great week coming up too, and we're just really excited to see how we can play off of what happened last week and just improve on our past mistakes and just continue to do well.
For sure. Definitely same for the football team and the men's soccer team as well. Both of them were coming off of losses this past week, but they both will definitely be looking to right the ship and turn things around and get some wins this week. Well, up next, we will be interviewing Mary Whitehead, the women's volleyball coach, to talk about her team's current winning streak.
We'll be right back.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
I'm here with Mary Whitehead, who is the women's volleyball coach here at Evangel. Coach, thank you for being here with us this morning.
You're welcome.
For sure, for sure. Well, the team is actually riding a pretty nice win streak here as of late. It's at 5 games currently. How do you feel about that as the coach of the team?
You know, we actually are playing well right now. We were half quarantined for a couple weeks, and we were down to about 12 active players. And so coming out of that, it was just, volleyball is such a sport of timing. And so we had to kind of find it again. And I feel like we kind of squeaked by some early games, played well enough to win, which was awesome. And then we've kind of hit our stride the last couple games, playing really well right now.
For sure, for sure. Well, you mentioned that, you know, for a couple of weeks there, you had like 12 active players and
Yes.
half the team was in quarantine and things like that. So with all of the COVID things going on, what does practice look like for you guys?
You know, it's different for sure when they walk down in mass and I'm taking their temps, and pre-practice looks a lot different than in the past. But once we're going, it's same. It's business as usual, and always preparing. Our schedule's pretty brutal with a Tuesday, Friday, Saturday schedule, so we're always getting ready for that next team. So we're still focused, we're still getting things done, and just hoping to be able to finish out this season continued winning.
For sure, for sure. So with the Tuesday, Friday, Saturday schedule, what's kind of been the secret for you guys where you've been able to keep the morale high and keep things going along so you can continue winning the way that you have so far?
Well, you know, it's different. We used to play a lot of Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, but the Friday, Saturday was non-conference stuff. And so now that it's conference, you really go into every conference game fully prepared with notes, with film. And so it's finding that balance of too much information, too little information. You know, how hard do we go today? Do we take a little bit of time, you know, stay on the ground a little bit today? So we're trying to find our niche there. And I feel like we're keeping the girls healthy, keeping them high energy, and just doing our best to go in 100% for every match.
For sure, for sure. So when actually is the next game for you guys?
We were supposed to play today, and that game got canceled because the other team is on quarantine. So we play Saturday. In most volleyball seasons, you don't get a 4 or 5 day break, not very often. And so we're going to take advantage of that. So for today and tomorrow, really focus on some skills, and then going into Thursday and Friday, getting a little more geared towards our specific opponent.
For sure, for sure. So who has stood out to you the most so far this season?
Well, you know, we were doing well. We were on a streak before this streak until we got cut off at Mid-America, and Daisy Eklund was playing lights out volleyball. We were playing great as a team. Daisy was over 5 kills a set and just playing great. And then against Mid-America, kind of tweaked her knee a little bit. And actually that set is when we lost her. And so we were just off kilter in that match. And they beat us pretty good. And so that was actually our last loss. And then we had that break with the quarantine, and everybody else just kind of has stepped up. And we've had some players. Tori Lowry has played great in the absence of that. Honestly, before she was playing great, and then now she's getting the ball more, getting more kills. And then Erin Russell is always our anchor defensively. She's top 5 in the country in digs per game. Just got Player of the Week, and so we have core players who are standing out. But as a team, we're just playing really, really well right now.
For sure, that sounds great. It sounds like you guys are gelling together with your leaders, and then the rest of your role players just all coming together, and things
Absolutely.
are rolling pretty good for you guys right now. So with that being said, how confident is the team heading into this next game? You know, like I just mentioned, you have your leaders that are standing out, but also the role players coming along as well. So how does those aspects come together, and how confident are they looking heading into this next matchup?
I think confidence is at a high. Again, Mid-America is the team that beat us the first round, and so to really take it to them Saturday was great. Friday night played lights out, and so a lot of times in volleyball you have, especially on the Friday, Saturdays, you play really well on Friday, and then Saturday can kind of be you kind of sit back a little bit, but we didn't do that. And it just shows confidence is high. We go into Saturday's match feeling like we should win that match. And then, the last 4 games of the season are against top 10 teams in the country. So we've got our hands full, but I think, again, confidence is high, and we'll go into those games knowing we can play with those teams.
For sure. Well, with the competition sort of ramping up here towards the end of the season, what are your expectations for the team heading into those matchups with those top teams?
Anytime you play teams like that, people say there's nothing to lose. Well, I don't necessarily follow that mantra. There's a game to lose. And so we're going in with a game on the line, and our expectations are to go in and win. I mean, if that's not your attitude at any given point, we have to talk about that. So we know the competition's going to be incredible, but we still go in. We can't play scared. Sometimes you go in and you play those higher ranking teams, and you go in a little timid with the do we really have a chance attitude. I think we have to make sure point for point we're playing 100% and know that there's a reason you play the game. We're going to go in and give it our best shot. All four of those matches.
For sure. Well, it sounds like you have some exciting times coming ahead, currently and coming for the Evangel volleyball team. So, Coach Whitehead, we want to thank you for being here with us this morning, and thank you for coming and sharing a little bit about your team.
Thank you.
For sure. Well, coming up, the Big Ten football season is about to get underway, and we will be reviewing some of the big matchups from this past weekend. Stay tuned.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow.
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. Since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
After initially announcing that it would not play football this fall, the Big Ten Conference reversed course roughly a month and a half ago and announced that its members would be competing on the gridiron this fall. Ohio State head coach Ryan Day said that, quote, most of it has been torture, unquote, when asked what it was like to watch other conferences play football on Saturdays. However, the torture has come to an end for Ohio State and the rest of the league as the Big Ten will open their 2020 season this coming weekend. Number 14, Wisconsin will face off against Illinois in an empty Camp Randall Stadium as the conference is not allowing fans at any venues during the pandemic. Number 5, Ohio State will take the field against Nebraska early on Saturday morning, while number 8, Penn State will be on the road against Indiana. Number 18, Michigan will take on number 21, Minnesota in the nightcap in what should be an exciting matchup to conclude the conference's opening weekend.
Many fans of Alabama were concerned last Wednesday when the college football coach Nick Saban announced that he had tested positive for COVID-19. Saban completely revived Alabama into a great team with lots of power and perseverance, so this was tough news with one of their most important games coming up on the weekend against Georgia. Although on Saturday morning, Alabama said that after several tests, their medical team concluded that Saban had received a false positive and he was cleared to coach Saturday night. Fans were very happy to hear the news, and on Saturday night, he coached the team in their big game. Even after being down 20-24 at halftime, Alabama was able to come back and win the game with a final score of 41-24.
Prior to Sunday, the Cleveland Browns are off to their best start in a while as they opened the season with a record of 4-1 for the first time in 26 years. Cleveland looked to keep their hot start going as they traveled to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers in an important early season divisional matchup, but things did not go their way on Sunday afternoon. Baker Mayfield battled through a nagging rib injury as he threw 2 interceptions in the game for the 11th time in his career. He was eventually benched for backup Case Keenum, who didn't fare too much better as he was only able to throw for 46 yards himself. Ben Roethlisberger threw for 162 yards and a touchdown, while James Conner rushed for 101 yards and a touchdown of his own. The Steelers wound up winning the game 38-7 as they took sole possession of first place in the AFC North. After both the American League and National League Championship Series went to 7 games, the 2020 World Series matchup was set, and it looks to be a good one. The Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the Atlanta Braves to advance to the World Series following a go-ahead homer in the bottom of the 7th inning of Game 7 of the NLCS by Cody Bellinger. On the American League side, the Tampa Bay Rays were able to fight off disaster as they nearly blew a 3-0 series lead to the Houston Astros, but they were able to prevail in their own Game 7 following a standout performance by Rays rookie Randy Arozarena, who has belted 7 home runs so far this postseason. The 2020 edition of the Fall Classic is set to begin tonight, October the 20th at 7 p.m.
The Los Angeles Clippers parted ways with their 8-year head coach Doc Rivers 2 weeks ago, and I found Tyronn Lue to be the next head coach of the Clippers. Lue coached for the Cleveland Cavaliers since 2014 and led them to a championship. He was the 23rd overall pick in the 1998 draft and played for 11 years in the NBA. He was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers on draft night and won 2 championships with them before playing with a number of other teams. Many people are excited for this change and are looking forward to see what is to come from the Clippers.
Well, Madison, it definitely looks like the Clippers found their guy in Tyronn Lue. But the World Series is starting up this week. Who are you rooting for, Madison? Are you going for the Dodgers or the Rays?
Oh, I was really sad when the Cardinals got kicked out. I don't know who I'm really rooting for now. I'm still sad. How about you?
I don't have a horse in the race anymore. The Rays beat my Astros, so it is what it is. Did you get a chance to check out the Monday Night Football game?
Yes. What about those Chiefs? They had it was a weird game. They had very low scoring, and Allen was very slow on his throwing and just not very accurate. And then Mahomes with his grounds play, he just didn't really have a lot of aerial shots last night.
For sure. It definitely was a bit of a flip-flop kind of game for the Chiefs, as Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a great game running the ball last night for the Chiefs. And also the Cowboys took on the Cardinals last night, and they actually got blown out. Fun fact, Kyler Murray is 7-0 in AT&T Stadium as a starting quarterback dating back to his days in high school, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool to hear.
For sure. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys 38-10, so I'm not sure what's going on in Dallas, but hopefully they will get things together here coming up soon because they are struggling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to just step up the game and see what happens.
For sure. Well, let's check out what's coming up for our Crusader Sports here on campus.
Coming up, our football team has a home game on Saturday, October 24th versus Mid-American Nazarene in Ozark at 1 p.m. So make sure that you drive just a little bit to come watch our team play their homecoming game.
Coming up for our volleyball team, they have an away game this coming Saturday, October the 24th, and they will be hitting the road to take on the Missouri Valley Vikings. So right after you get done watching our football team play in their homecoming game, make sure you turn on the volleyball game, which will begin at 4 p.m.
Both our women's and men's soccer teams will be playing Central Methodist this week here in Springfield, starting on Wednesday, October 21st, with women's at 5 p.m. and men's at 7:30. There's a lot going on here at Evangel this week, and we're excited to see what's coming up.
For sure, there's a lot of matchups going on, and this week is technically still homecoming, although there aren't any homecoming festivities going on due to the pandemic. It's still our homecoming weekend and our homecoming game this coming Saturday, so make sure you get out and support our guys this coming weekend as they continue Hart Conference play.
Yes, even though we still aren't able to do the festivities, it's still great that we at least get to go to the football game and everything. So.
For sure, for sure.
Well, that's all the time that we have today for Sports Update. I'm Madison Letterman.
And I'm Didi Little. Be sure to join us next week as we bring you the latest in sports news. This has been Sports Update on EUTV.